The Legends of Crios and the Beginnings of the Cancer Constellation. According to Greek legends, there are two common tales surrounding the great crab Crios and the beginnings of the Cancer Constellation. The more popular of the two seems to me to be less fitting for what the creature is said to represent, so I will tell you both, starting with the more common of the two, followed by the one I find to be a more suitable representation. These are the legends of the great crab Crios and the beginnings of the constellation Cancer. In the days of old in the kingdom of Greece there lived a great hero, Hercules. He was the son of Zeus, a demigod, born out of an affair, and most hated by Hera, wife of the great god. Since his conception, she had tried to bring his life to an end. This tale tells of one of her unsuccessful attempts on his life. Falling under a spell of bloodlust after years on the battlefield, one night the great hero went into a fit of rage and brutally murdered his wife. He beat her over the head with his club until her body lay lifeless. He was judged by the local king, and his sentence was to complete 12 nearly impossible tasks in 12 years' time. One of those tasks was to slay the many-headed Hydra, a giant water serpent considered to be one of the deadliest creatures in Greek mythology. Hercules approached the monster with extreme caution, waiting patiently for the creature to lash out, and when it did, he quickly severed one of its heads and noticed two grew back in its place. He then sought the aid of his companion to cauterize the wounds immediately after severing the heads. He hoped this would prevent them from growing back, and the next time it attempted to strike, he lopped off another head while his friend sealed the wound with fire. No heads grew back this time. Hera took notice that the great hero had gained an advantage in the battle and became furious. She summoned a great crab named Crios to assist the Hydra in defeating Hercules. The crab approached the hero from behind and latched onto his leg. Unscathed by this attack, he turned and repeatedly bashed Crios over the head until his brains became mush. He then proceeded to stomp him into pieces. After pulverizing the crab, he went on to kill the wretched Hydra. This filled Hera with rage, but she still recognized the great sacrifice made by Crios and immortalized him in the night sky, becoming what you may now know as the constellation Cancer, or the crab in Latin. This may seem like a minor role to play in order to receive such a great reward, but many say this is why it is the dimmest of the major constellations. It's symbolized by the crab claws and is closely associated with the moon and the tides. It's also said to be a representation of the mother, which will lead us into part 2 of this video, where I will cover the second myth surrounding Crios and the beginnings of the Cancer constellation. I'm the Rogue Baron. Thanks for watching. The Legends of Crios and the Beginnings of the Cancer Constellation. Chapter 2. Long ago, the mother of the earth, Gaia, had become angry with the Olympians over the foul treatment of some of her offspring. In her wrath, she unleashed the monster Typhon, a gigantic serpentine creature said to be one of the deadliest in Greek mythology. It was tasked with hunting down the gods of Mount Olympus to make them pay for their wrongdoing. This caused many of the Olympians to flee into hiding. Poseidon, the wielder of the trident and the mighty god of the sea, was forced to abandon his kingdom. In his absence, he asked the giant crab named Crios to watch over his daughters, the beautiful nymphs of the deep, and keep them safe within the palace walls. He vowed to do just that, but over time the nymphs grew restless, and one night a group of them hatched a plan to escape the underwater kingdom. Crios could not chase after them because he had to watch over those that remained. Thinking quickly, he sought out assistance to help bring them home. He asked Vamari, the giant vampire squid, to aid him in this task, and the monster happily agreed. So off he headed into the depths of the sea in search of the beautiful nymphs. One by one he hunted them down, but instead of returning them home, he tore them to pieces and ate them. Upon his return to the great crab, he told a story of being unsuccessful in his search for the daughters of Poseidon. Crios was smart and sensed something was off, so he lashed out at the monstrous squid. The two began a dance to the death, and after a long, hard-fought battle, Crios struck a fatal blow and sent the creature down to Hades. Although victorious, the immortal crab was seriously wounded. He couldn't die, but was crippled and in excruciating pain. When the great sea god returned home to his palace, he found Crios and recognized the sacrifice he had made. Poseidon decided to relieve him of his suffering by immortalizing him in the night sky, becoming what you may now know as the constellation Cancer, or the crab in Latin. It's symbolized by the crab claws and has long been associated with the moon and the tides. It's also a symbol of the mother, which is why I find this tale fitting. Crios guarded the nymphs with his life like a mother would her children. And that's the legend of the great crab Crios and the beginnings of the Cancer constellation. I'm the Rogue Baron. Thanks for watching.